Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shalom, 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 everyone. Nice to see everybody in the building. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This is a special one for today. Got a lot of things going on today. But of course, we got to get this Torah vitamin in to start off our Shabbat. I'm so happy that you guys are here to help start the Shabbat with me. Again, for those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Rosh Ya'acob ben Abraham. I am the rabbi at Gethsemane Spiritual Temple Congregation. And on this show, we normally discuss different hot topics, but on Shabbat is special. On Shabbat, we have the Torah vitamin. This is when I will come in and give and drop some jewels from the Torah to help start your Shabbat, to help get you on your way. So we're not going to spend too much time just going to jump on some things. And we probably going to seem like we about to get real deep on some stuff, and then it's just going to stop. Just like that, right? Just giving you enough information for you to go on with your Sabbath. So again, I thank you guys for being here with me today and opening up this Shabbat with me today. And we're going to dig into these different things. So as you guys seen, hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Moray, Heart for Serving, the next section, and anybody else who said Shalom that I didn't see, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Again, appreciate you guys for being on here with me. All right, what are we talking about today, right? Today, we're going to be dealing with Parshat Tetzaveh. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Pastor. Shabbat Shalom, Pastor. Parshat Tetzaveh. Tetzaveh is, and you shall command, right? Tetzaveh. Right, so let's see what Tetzaveh is dealing with. So we want to go, you see we got the holy garments up on the screen because that's the main thing that is dealing with is the holy garments. And what about these holy garments? What is it dealing with concerning these holy garments, right? So we're going to see the portion is taken up from last week. Because remember, last week it was talking about the temple itself and how the Moshe was shown the temple in the mountains, in a mountain, right? Remember, he ascended the mountain. The sages teach he didn't just ascend the mountain, but he ascended into the heavens, Shamayim, right? And when he ascended into the heavens, this is where he was shown how everything was supposed to be because he seen the real thing, right? So everything that we have is a carbon copy of the real thing, right? And that's the main thing that we was getting out of that text. You know, everything that we seen from how the temple was structured, how you had the holies, the holy of holies, the menorah, the cherubim or the cherubim, really cherubim, but I know some people just say cherubim, right? It lets you know about all these different things and how these are all things that he saw, but he saw the real things. So he has to explain to the people who didn't see anything exactly what he saw. So he had to use his architectural skills to tell them, this is what I saw, this is what I want you guys to make. And these guys had to be able to take from what he was telling them to make these things. Now, you might say, that sounds deep, how can you do that? Well, we got people to do that now, right? Think about it. We got police sketch artists. That's the first thing kind of my mind, right? You sit there with this police sketch artist and you describe to him how the person looked that you saw. They had this type of eyes. They had this type of hair. And this sketch artist, depending on how good they are, will recreate this person that you saw. Well, you be like, that's it. That's the person right there. And then they put the bulletin out on this person with this person's drawing or sketch saying this is how this person looked. Same thing happened with the construction of the temple. Same thing happened with the construction of the temple. With the Mikdash, right? Same thing happened. He said, this is how it looked to me. And they took what they had to try to recreate exactly what he saw. Because he kept telling him, do it exactly as I shown you in a mountain. Right? Exactly as I shown you in a mountain, that's how I want you to make it look. And Moshe took his time and was able to convey this. And we'll see later in the Torah portions coming up later. I believe it's once we get to Vayikra, where they actually, probably towards the end of Shemot, or Shemot is Exodus, for those that don't know what I'm talking about. So towards the end of the book of Exodus, or Sefer Shemot, or somewhere around that time, I believe it's like the end of Sefer Shemot, we will see what he's going to name some people that he's going to say he put the Ruach in to be able to do these things that I'm describing to you, where Moshe is going to be able to sit down with them and say, this is how it looked. So as they're making this stuff, they can have an idea of how it's supposed to look. So it's looking the exact way that he saw it, because he's the only one that saw it, right? He saw it. This is how it's supposed to look. This is how I want you to make this. Right? So that's the whole situation with that. So let's get ready to delve into this, because this takes us to the next step. Because not only did he see how structures look, but he saw how the beings looked. The beings looked a certain way. And he saw this. So the way he's describing that the priest, especially the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, the way he's expressing how these guys are supposed to dress is based off of what he saw the beings that we would call angels, the seraphim, the cherubim, right? How he saw them looking, how they looked, right? So now we're told that this is how the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, is supposed to look, right? So he's going to go through all these different things, all right? So let's delve into this. All right, so we in Tetzaveh. Wa'ata Tetzaveh, right? And you command, right? Wa'ata Tetzaveh. And you command et Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel, Vayechu, and they shall take alecha for you, shamin, zayith, oil, right? What's this oil being used for? Now you command Bnei Yisrael, and they may fetch for you the oil of olive, clear beaten. For what? What you want? What you need this oil for, right? La ma'or laha oloth nir tamid, for the light to draw up the lamp wick regularly, right? So the first thing is we need the oil. We need the oil So he's trying to get him this idea of, okay, is this light? This light that's always there, right? It's a tamid, right? This word tamid means continual. They got regularly, right? Tamid, right? Is a continual light. Well, let's see. As you know, I am with these different translations. Let me see. I want to switch this translation out for I want to switch this translation out. The translation is okay, but I really want. There we go. Translations. I want the JPS. There we go. All right. Aharon uvanayo, Aharon and his sons. Ba'ahel ma'or makutz la parket asher al ha-laduth, right? In the tent of meeting, right? So, like, oh, they doing something different. Hold on now, because it don't say that. Let me see something for a minute. Let me see something. I always be on here with you guys, and then I stumble onto something that I wasn't even looking for. So let's go to Shemot 27. Let's go right to the end. Yeah, you see this, guys? Hold on. I just happen to see this because I'm looking at the JPS. I'm like, why they do that, right? Look at what this says, right? It says, first it says to cause the lamp to burn continually. Now, remember I said this light is a tamid. It's a continual light. That means it's something that's supposed to always burn, right? Because this light, of course, is representing the Almighty's eternal light. This is something that continually it never goes, it's never ignited, right? And we need this light, you know how we use the metaphor, let this light so shine, right? So this light is to never go out, right? But that ain't the part I was looking at. It's right here where it says in the tabernacle of meeting or tent of meeting. Because that's what I'm looking at. It says, but a helma'ad. So I'm like, this says in the tent of meeting. But then right here it says, Aharon and his son shall set it up. All right, so they kind of reversed it. Because it says, Ba'ahel ma'ad makutz la porket asher al ha'adat. Right? Now, this is in a tent of meeting, right? Let me let y'all see so y'all can see. I want y'all to get confused by what it says right there. In a tent of meeting outside the veil, which is for the testimony. That's exactly. That's why I say, even though we might don't like King James, might get mad about King James, right? But he do try to translate it as close as he can. You know, some of them do try to translate it as close as they can to what it should say. Because we see this is in a direct order. Because that'll confuse people who don't really know Torah or read Hebrew, because they'll look and be like, wait a minute, this don't say nothing about Aharon. I know what Aharon is in Hebrew, right? This is Aharon right here. Aharon Ovanayo. That's why when I first read this, y'all know I said Aharon Ovanayo, right? I'm reading it from here. And then I looked up and say, that don't say Aharon Ovanayo. But anyway, that's just a pet peeve. I'm going to leave that alone. But that just show you sometimes how stuff is translated and all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. I just wanted to point that out because it just caught me off guard. And we are live, so this is what happens when you live. But what I wanted to get you to see, before I waste too much time with this, because as you notice, this is closing out the end of chapter 27, right? And it's about to go into the next chapter. The next chapter is where it gets into the garments that the Kohanim will wear. But they wanted to start off this one to show you, to talk to you about this light and to show you the importance of this light and making sure that this light, this continual light burns, right? This is the continual light which they use to light everything else. And if you use any other kind of light, it'll be called a foreign light. And we know what happens to you when you use a foreign light. And if you don't know, just check back with us in a couple of weeks, because there's going to be some brothers that's holy and they're going to use a foreign light and they're going to be killed. Can't use a foreign light, right? So you got to use the light. So just want to keep that up right there. But let's go to the next part, right? It says, you shall bring forward your brother Aharon and his sons from among the Israelites to serve me as priests, right? So he's bringing them along to serve them as priests, right? Who is he bringing? Aharon, Nadab, Avihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Benai Aharon, the sons of Aharon, Benai Aharon, right? These are Aharon's sons, right? So, what do we got to make for them? First, in order for them to work in this temple, they got to dress the part. They got to look the part in order to be in there. So what do I mean they got to look the part? They got to have the right garments on. Look at what it says. It says, make sacral vestments for your brother Aharon for dignity and adornment, right? So he's saying this is what he's making it for, dignity and adornment. Let's go back to the JPS now so we can see what it says. Next, you shall instruct all who are skillful, whom are endowed with the gift of skill, right? To make Aharon's vestment for consecrating him to me as a Kohen, right? Make sacral vestments for your brother. Also, I'm going to point out something to y'all as well. Now, notice right here. This starts off as chapter 28. For this right here, it starts off as chapter 28, right? But if we look at the regular King James, I know I'm going to hear about this later, it's actually chapter 27, verse 20. If we look at King James, so the Hebrew Bible is numbered differently. Even the chapters start differently. So in a regular King James, right, this is still part of the 27th chapter. But when we go to the Hebrew Bible, we see that it starts off, that was the first part of chapter 28, right? So sometimes it happens like that with a Hebrew Bible is numbered differently. So y'all might see something and y'all will see it in a Hebrew Bible or from some kind of Hebraic site, and it'll be different. And you'll go to look for that verse. You're like, that verse not there. Well, that verse say something different, right? But the verse is there. It's just numbered differently because most of us have Bibles based off of the King James Version. So it's numbered a certain way. But then with the Hebrew Bible, it's numbered differently. So I'm glad I was able to point that out. All right, but check this out. Look at what it says. You shall instruct all who are skillful, right? So it's all the people who have these type of skills, right? To be able to make this type of stuff. You shall instruct them whom I've endowed with the gift of this skill to do what? To make Aharon's clothes, to make his vestments, for consecrating him to serve me as a Kohen. Now, how's this clothes supposed to look? These are the vestments that they are to make. A breastplate, a breastpiece, an ephod, a robe, a fringed tunic, right? So a tunic that has fringes on it, right? So like the one that we see the brethren wear, right? That's how that tunic was to look. That tunic, it wasn't with the zitziot joint that we know we wear with the tallit. It's talking about a tunic with the fringes on it. So it's like the garments we see our Hebraic brothers wear. They got the little fringes around the bottom of the trend, right? This is what it's talking about, right? They shall make those sacral vestments for your brother Aharon and his sons for priestly service to me, right? And it goes on to tell you all the things that it's supposed to have. They shall receive the gold, the purple, the crimson yarn. So they're going to make this, right? They not going to J.C. Penney's. They not going to Macy's. None of that stuff was there, right? They're going to make these things, right? They're going to make the ephod of gold, blue, purple, crimson yarns twisted with worked into the designs. They're going to have shoulder piece and all these different things, right? And let's go to what the stones, right? Let's go to the next one. I want y'all to see how it looks in y'all Bibles for the most part. Look at what it says. The ephod, right? They shall make it this way. Look, it says, verse 7, it shall have 2 shoulder straps joined at the 2 edges, so that it shall be joined together. And the intricately woven band of the ephod, which is on it, shall be the same workman, made of gold, blue, purple, scarlet thread, fine woven linen, right? You shall take the onyx stones, right? You're going to take 2 onyx stones. You're going to engrave on them the names of the sons of Yisrael, B'nai Yisrael, 6 on one stone, 6 on the other stone, because it's going to go on their shoulders, right? Then you got the breastplate, right? On this breastplate of judgment, you're going to have all these different jewels, right? Look at verse 17. And you shall put settings of stones and 4 rows of the stones. The first row shall be sardius, topaz, and emerald. This shall be for the first row. The second row shall be turquoise, and sapphire, and diamond. And the third row shall be jacinth and agate and amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl and an onyx and a jasper. And all these are to be settings on this breastplate, right? So we see all this stuff. And I know you like, why are we going through all this stuff? Because I want to show you something. I want to show you that all this stuff is based off of the real thing. Now you might be like, well, how are you going to show us that? It's simple. I'm going to show you how I'm going to show you, right? So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go to the book of Revelation. For my Brit Kadashah brother. We're going to go to the book of Revelation, right? Watch this. Watch this in the book of Revelation. Wanted to see, let's see how this being that we see as the high priest that people come to understand and say this is talking about Yahshua HaMashiach. Let's see how it says he was dressed, right? Let's see how it says he was dressed. Now, first, I want you to see where Yachanan is at. Right? So let me go right here. Verse 12, right? Yachanan, for those y'all don't know, this vision, like I told y'all last week, whenever they have visions of the Almighty, they all are in that presence where Moshe was at. They're in the temple, right? He's having a vision of the real temple that Moshe actually seen with his eyes. Yachanan is having his vision. And what does Yachanan say he saw? He says he heard his voice, right? Because the voice is talking to him, right? And he goes on with this stuff. But let's look at what Yachanan says. Verse 9. Yachanan, both your brother and companion in tribulation in the kingdom of patience of Yahshua Mashiach, was on an island called Patmos, from the word of Elohim for the testimony of Yahshua Mashiach. I was in the spirit on the Lord's day. Now, what is the Lord's day? This not even talking about what most people, they say, well, no, that means the Sabbath. That means the Sabbath. Of course, first day people say, oh, that means Sunday, right? But you got to look deeper. What is the Lord's day? Or let me say it this way to you. The day of the Lord or the day of the Almighty. What's that? That's talking about the end with a judgment. Thank you, Moray. That's talking about the judgment. This is not dealing with, the weekly Sabbath, the first day of the week, and we battling. What did the Lord's day mean? The Lord's day meant the day of judgment. This is what he's saying. He's saying, I'm giving you a vision of what's going to happen in the day of judgment. This is what this vision is about, right? But of course, if you don't got that grasp or that understanding, you're going to take it at face value that it's talking about the Lord's Day. What's that, right? So let's get that out the way first. It's not dealing with the Shabbat to that degree. It is not dealing with Sunday. Oh, I done ran out of time, but I want to give y'all this. The Lord's Day, what's this? The day of judgment, right? What does he say is happening? I heard behind me a loud voice as of a trumpet. What's supposed to happen on the day of judgment? We're supposed to hear the trumpets blowing, right? So he's giving us this picture. This is the end. This is the end. The trumpets are blowing. And look what he says. He says, he heard someone saying, I'm the Aleph and the Tau, right? Or they got in Greek the Alpha and Omega. But if we was looking at the Hebrew letters, it would say the Aleph and the Tau, because that's the first letter is Aleph, the last letter is Tau, right? The first and the last. And what you see right and send to the 7 congregations. Now let's skip down because he wants to see who's talking to him. Then I turned to see the voice that spoke to me, and having turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. What is he saying? He's saying a menorah. I want you to understand where he's at and what he's saying. He turns, he's saying a menorah. I'm like, I'm at the temple. What's going on? But this is not the temple. This the real thing. He's saying a real thing, right? But it's through a vision and a dream, because remember, this is how the Almighty speak to his other prophets, right? He only spoke to Moshe pay le pay, right? Mouth to mouth, right? Now check this out. He says, he saw the menorah, and in the midst of the 7 lampstands, or the menorah, one like the Son of Man. So I seen one that looked like a human being. I know they got it built up Son of Man because they want you to hear, to get some kind of certain imagery. But what he said is, I seen somebody that looked like a human. And this person was clothed with a garment down to the feet and girded about the chest with a golden band, right? So the same garments, go back and check it out. The same garments that we're saying the high priest was to wear. This is what he's saying. He's saying somebody with this, right? He see them with this garment. He see them with this golden band, right? It says his head were like were white like wool, right? As white as snow. His eyes like a flame of fire. His feet were like fine brass, as if it been fine, or in other texts it says burnt in a furnace, right? And the sound of his voice was many waters, right? So he's describing how this being looked, right? And what we said is this is dealing with the same way that we seen the priest look. But now I want to show you something else, and then I'm gonna close out with something else. That's just giving you, y'all can dig into that a little more. I want to give you one more thing because I got caught up with the other stuff and wasted a lot of time. So let me see. Let me go to the other thing I want to show you. I think it's in Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel. Yep, Ezekiel 28:14. So I'm going to show you this, right? So that was Brit Kadashah. And you'll see there's even more stuff I could show you in there, but of course we don't got time. This is 28:14. So I'm going to show you this one thing with Ezekiel. And it says 28:14. Now look at this. Now, it starts off where he's talking to the king of Tyre, right? But then he's going to look past him because there's another tidbit I can give you. Can't go into it, but yeah, I'm going to give you a tidbit. I'm going to drop some sods on you, right? Behind every kingdom is a guardian angel that represents that kingdom. We will say a guardian angel, we say a chief angel, right? We get that from the book of Daniel, where it tells us and shows us this, right? Now, right here, it starts off where he's talking to the king of Tyre, but then he's going to talk to who's behind him. Now look what he says. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, earthling, human being, right? Take up a lamentation for the king of Tyre and say to him, Thus says Yahweh Elohim, you were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and beauty, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden. So right here we should know, wait a minute, King of Tyre wasn't in Eden. This part should shine out to you brightly. The king of Tyre was never in the Garden of Eden. So who is he talking about that was in the Garden of Eden? That was the seal of perfection. That was full of wisdom, perfect in beauty. He's now talking to the one that's behind the king of Tyre. He's talking to the adversary. Look at what he tells him. Every precious stone was your covering. The sardis, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the turquoise, and the emerald. With gold, the workmanship of your timbrels and pipes was prepared for you on the day you were created. Right? So look at what he's telling him. He's telling this being, this adversary, you was in the Garden of Eden, you had all this stuff, right? You had all these coverings of jewels on you. Why do you think Moshe he's telling Moshe, make sure the high priest had these coverings of jewels? Because this is how the beings that he saw looked. They was wearing the garments like we seen in Revelation. And on top of that, they had these jewels and stuff plastered on them. I know I'm getting deep with this. I should have started with this. I know y'all like, why you ain't start with this? It's just a vitamin. It's just a vitamin. It's something to get you ready. Just get you pumped so you can study and look more into it for yourself. I know my brother going in right now. Boy, Ray going in. I can't even read it because I don't want to take too much time with y'all. But y'all can pause it, check out what he's saying. But check this out. And total rabbi for him and his support. But check this out, right? Watch this. Moshe saw the real thing, people. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to see. So as y'all read through that and y'all like, oh, wise tell us he dressed like this, he dressed like that, wear this, that, he just talking about having them studded out with jewels. No, all this is based off of how the beings that Moshe saw looked. The beings that was in the temple, the real temple, this was their coverings. Every precious stone was your covering. The sardis, the topaz and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx and the jasper, sapphire, turquoise and the emerald with gold. Now go back and look at the Torah portion and see what it says about the high priest and his garment. And it names all those jewels. And what it say those jewels are set in? Those jewels are set in gold. They set in gold. Even says you were the anointed cherub. You was the anointed cherub, right? Or y'all would say cherub, who covers. Right? So we see who he's talking to. Now, just like how he's explaining to us about those jewels that was on Aharon, these jewels had to meant something too that was on him, right? Y'all can dig deeper into that. I'm gonna leave it there. I think we've done enough. I think we've done enough. I think we got out. The vitamin is now marinating within us, right? I wish I would have got to this part sooner because I got more things I want to show you guys. But that's how the vitamin works, right? That's how the vitamin works. But I just wanted to point this out to you to get you to see that when he says what you saw on the mountain, he wasn't just talking about the temple. He was talking about even the garments that the beings were wearing. That's based off of what he saw in heaven too. All this is based off of what Moshe saw. All of it. So when we hear these things come back and these people start expounding on these things, right? It all draws back to the real thing. Like Apostle Shaul said, and I'm going to leave you on this. What did he say? He says, a shadow of things to come. The stuff we got in our reality, which is not actual reality, the actual reality is where the Almighty is. This is not the actual reality. This is the reality for us. But the actual reality is where the Almighty is, right? That's why Apostle Shaul says that. Because the sages had that understanding that all this stuff is a shadow of the things to come. Now think about that. We know how we are. You see how we are. We can look at ourselves and then we look at our shadow. Our shadow is just a shadow. It's not even fully can comprehend all this stuff. It's just casting a shadow of what we are on the ground or onto something, right? But it can't even grasp. It's not even on that level of the actual thing. So I want y'all to get that. So when Rav Shaul says shadow of things to come, he's saying this stuff right here is just a shadow. Is not the real thing. The real thing is coming. And my question to you is, are you ready? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end out this Torah vitamin. Like I said, I never run out of words. As y'all see, I keep going, but only run out of time. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna give you our artist of the week. Our artist of the week is God Will Music, and the name of this song is "I'm an Israelite." Look, I'm sitting there singing, forgot I didn't have a mic on. I'm glad I thought about it. About that life? Oh, about that life. Because I'm an Israelite. Anyway, all right, people. Like having fun with you guys, but I got to get out of here. So enjoy the rest of your Shabbat. Like I said, keep digging, keep learning. I'm muted. Yeah, already unmuted myself. All right, I'm about to say, wait a minute. Yeah, I was muted at first. All right, but thank you guys. Like I say, we have Sabbath school at 10:30 if you want to check it out. Or we have our service at 1:30 and around 2 o'clock, 2:15. Yours truly will be delivering a message today. So if you guys want to check that out, you can call 1-314-730-2320 and enter the PIN number 339-130-96#. And you can check us out. Also, if you want to actually converse with me and others about stuff that's in the Bible, but we can converse back and forth. We do have our Bible study, which is on Wednesday nights at 7:30, where we tackle all kind of deep subjects and also dig deep into the prophecy. So again, you can reach us at that number. Use the same PIN to log in, and you can fellowship with us. So hopefully, everything is good, and hopefully this vitamin did something to enrich you. And I will see you guys next week. All right. So with that being said and done, I bid you Shabbat Shalom.